This week on Full Throttle TV, we sit down with Top Fuel driver Spencer Massey, who's back on track after a year's hiatus.
If I can follow in his footsteps and try and one-up him somehow many years down the road, that's my goal.
Welcome the Pro Stock Division's Queen of Speed, Erica Enders.
We're going to see how we can do this year. I have all the faith in the world in my guys, and I think we have a lot to look forward to this year.
And once again, give you a backstage pass with Sean Langdon.
If we can get him out early and get ourselves on a little bit of a roll, that's really all the better for us.
That's all ahead on Full Throttle TV, coming to you from Las Vegas. NHRA drag racing fans, we're in Vegas, baby, where the NHRA has arrived to heat up the desert. I'm your host, Abby Tubbs. Today, Full Throttle Energy Drink and FTTV will catch up with some of the biggest names in drag racing as they begin their quest for the sport's ultimate prize, the 2011 Full Throttle Championship. A year after taking home Rookie of the Year honors, rising star Spencer Massey had to sit out the 2010 season when he lost his sponsorship. After catching a ride with Don Schumacher Racing, the Top Fueler hopes to use his fevered driving skills and a little luck here in Vegas to pick up right where he left off. I caught up with Spencer in Vegas to talk about what it's like to be back in a Top Fuel car and a whole lot more. Let's take a look. I am joined by Fram Prestone Autolite Top Fuel driver Spencer Massey. Spencer, thanks so much for joining us today on our Full Throttle TV set.
It's a pleasure to be here. We're in Vegas, having a great time, ready to get the last day of qualifying started so we can get to the eliminations and go 4 rounds on Sunday and have fun doing it.
So let's backtrack a little bit. How did you get started in the sport?
I've been around the sport since I was a little kid, from driving junior dragsters to driving super comp cars and working on alcohol dragsters. And then being able to work my way up through the sport, being at the right place at the right time, but more or less keeping my head focused, trying to stay in the game, and knowing and trying to continue on with my passion with what I love.
Well, you did race for Don Prudhomme, a legend in the sport. What did you learn from him?
I learned tons from him. I mean, he's a legend, just like Mr. Schumacher. And driving for drivers, team owners that's been around the sport for many, many years is so much wealth of knowledge just to learn from business sense to driving to winning championships.
And you are driving for a powerhouse, Don Schumacher Racing. Everyone knows him around here. And you went from a one-man team to now having a bunch of teammates. What's that like? What's the difference? It's
pretty cool, actually. I mean, even though we do race each other on Sunday, it doesn't matter. We're all friends, we're teammates. We get to help each other out, be it from tune-ups to driving characteristics to anything. And we all make each other happy. We all make each other better drivers, better racers, so we can all win championships like we're here trying to do.
And one of your teammates is 7-time Top Fuel champion Tony Schumacher. Has he been a mentor towards you?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's pretty cool being able to drive for Don Schumacher with teammates like the Sarge. I mean, he's a machine, and he knows how to get it done. And obviously, if I can follow in his footsteps and try and one-up him somehow many years down the road, that's my goal.
Have you had a push-up competition with him yet?
No push-up competition, just reaction time competition.
And who's going to beat him in that? I heard you have a great reaction time.
Well, my goal is always to be #1.
Once again, let's hear from Statman Lewis Bloom, who will fill you in on which NHRA drivers he thinks are on the cusp of getting a win in the Top Fuel class.
Thanks, Abby. This week we're talking about the Top Fuel class. We're in the Sean Langdon pit. This is his 50th race this weekend as a pro, and I expect Sean to have a big breakout win any day soon. He's already been to a final round this season. Of course, he lost to Morgan Lucas at Pomona. Other racers I expect to step up this season: Brandon Bernstein, the Coparts dragster, looking for that first win in a blue race car. And how about Team Coletta? Of course, David Grumnick hasn't won in a long time, but I expect his teammate Doug Coletta to step up also in a big way. We expect Schumacher, we expect Dixon, but I like looking at the drivers that are a little bit outside the box, looking for that winner's circle here so far in 2011. Top Fuel, as always, you got to go with the big teams, but I like to see Langdon, Brandon Bernstein, and Team Coletta in the winner's circle any day now.
Still ahead, we catch up with Pro Stock's Erica Enders.
I've always been an avid spokesperson for when you put the helmet on, everything's equal. Gender doesn't play a role in what we do.
With the 60th season of the NHRA officially underway, we thought we'd check in with our resident NHRA historian, FTTV statman Lewis Bloom, who has selected a few of his favorite moments from drag racing lore and will be sharing them with us each and every week. LB, take it away.
Thanks, Abby. This week we're going to talk about our 60th anniversary moment, and let's talk about Shirley Muldowney, the first female winner in the professional classes. That goes back to 1976 at Columbus Raceway. Move forward to 1996, the Pro Stock motorcycle class had its first female winner with Angelle Sampé. Then, of course, back in 2008, Ashley Force Hood scored the win in Funny Car. Why do I bring this up? It's because Pro Stock is the only class without a female winner, and right now Erica Enders is on the cusp of winning in that Victor Cagnazzi Pro Stock race car. That would give us female winners in all 4 professional classes. Don't forget to log on to NHRA.com and pick up a copy of the NHRA 60th anniversary DVD. Also vote on the Facebook page for your favorite moment. And of course, the Stat Guy loves talking about one of the greats, Shirley Muldowney.
We are joined on our Full Throttle TV set with Zaza Energy Pro Stock driver Erica Enders. Erica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So not only are you a Pro Stock driver, but you are the most successful female Pro Stock driver in the NHRA. What does that mean to you?
I mean, you embrace the fact that you're a woman in a male-dominated sport, but other than that, I mean, I just have always been an avid spokesperson for when you put the helmet on, everything's equal. Gender doesn't play a role in what we do, and I mean, all the records for females and everything is really cool, but at the end of the day, I just strive to be the best driver I can.
Well, you're back with Cagnazzi Racing again, and you have a new sponsor, Zaza Energy. Is your team going to give you the force that you need to push you up to the top?
Absolutely. I couldn't have asked for a better group of guys, and I really believe that people are a key to making something successful, and I definitely have the right guys. They've won world championships together. With this exact car, this is the car that Jeg drove the last couple years, and the horsepower at Cagnazzi Racing is just awesome. So we definitely have, like, all the stars are aligned right now, and we just have to execute.
That was my next question. You're driving in Jeg Coughlin's old car. He's a Full Throttle champion. Do you think it's your turn? You're going to get up there and win your first Wally?
I sure hope so. I've been dreaming about this my whole life, and I've certainly worked really hard at it, trying to find sponsors to come on board to keep us out here, and then traveling all the time, trying to work out, stay in shape so I can be the best driver I can. It's a full plate.
Well, I have to say you're going pretty fast, because in Gainesville you broke the miles per hour record. What did your team do to celebrate after that?
We had a little toast, a full throttle toast. But we just all got together, and my teammate Roger Brogdon set the ET world record as well. He won a 49 with a 5. So he set the ET. We have the quickest and the fastest Pro Stock cars in the world at Cagnazzi Racing. So we celebrated as a group, and it was just a lot of fun.
Not only did you break the record, but you went up against NASCAR's superstar, Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch.
How was that? Were you nervous? Was it pressure? How did you feel?
I didn't think going into it, because my Sunday game plan stays the same no matter who's in the other lane. But on Sunday, with all the people, he has a huge entourage and all the cameras, and then I thought, well, I'm never going to hear the end of it if I lose to this roundy round guy, so I better step up my game. So there was a little added pressure, but fortunately the Zaza Chevy Cobalt came out on top, and that's all I could ask for.
So our own FTTV stat man, Lewis Bloom, the guy who knows everything, picked you as his out-of-the-box win to win Pro Stock class this year.
Really?
Any pressure from old Lewis Bloom?
Oh, I love me some Lewis Bloom. But I'm honored that they've been picking me. Bob Fry came up to me the other day when we were at an autograph session, and he said, all right, he showed me his ticket. He's like, I placed my bet on you. Your odds are 10-1 this weekend. So it makes me feel really good that these guys are putting their faith and their money on me. So we're going to see how we can do this year. I have all the faith in the world in my guys, and I think we have a lot to look forward to this year.
Before they started rocking out at over 300 miles per hour, these NHRA drivers rock to a different tune. They tell us about their first concerts in this segment of Full Throttle TV.
First concert, easy. Judas Priest, 1983, Screaming for Vengeance.
First concert, parents dragged me to, I believe it was George Strait at the Colorado State Fair.
First concert I went to, 1981, Styx, Paradise Theater Tour. Second was REO Speedwagon. I won't forget that one because I slammed in my brother's car into somebody else on the freeway and spent the night in the car in the middle of downtown LA, and that was a long day, trust me.
The best I can remember, I was about 15 years old. I went and saw Johnny Rotten at PIL, and it was exciting. It was in Orange County, California, and I remember listening to the Sex Pistols when I was younger. Johnny Rotten was in town, and off we went.
Travis Tritt in Orlando. I'll never forget it because we had a police escort. Forrest got us a police escort. It was Saturday night, and Forrest got up on stage with a beer. It was unbelievable, but that actually happened.
It was the Jackson 5. It was in Texas Stadium, back in the old Texas Stadium. It was the real Jackson 5 concert.
Wow, first concert. It was No Doubt in 311, before 311 and No Doubt were anybody. It was awesome.
First concert I ever attended was Jason Aldean. Actually, it was about 3 years ago. It was 3 hours from home, and a bunch of us wanted to go, and everybody fell asleep, and I ended up having to drive home by myself.
I think I was probably 16. I think it might have been Peter Frampton playing down in Australia. But you know what, that was so long ago, and there's been so many other concerts and so much other fun. I think those cells are gone.
First concert I went to, Judas Priest, the Screaming for Vengeance tour. Most unbelievable concert I've ever seen. My first concert.
First rock concert, Milwaukee, was the Summerfest up there. I don't really remember a whole lot of it. I remember Santana and all them being there. It was a great concert, started out that way, but I got so drunk and passed out early that I don't even remember the rest of it.
Coming up next, we make a deal with full-time funny car driver and Ford car salesman Bob Tasca III.
Well, I still have a hard time today describing to people just how hard those nitro funny cars accelerate.
We're back on Full Throttle TV, and Statman Lewis Bloom is once again going to let us in on who's going to break through and get that much-needed win in the funny car class.
Thanks, Abby. This week we're going to talk about some of the drivers I expect to see win in the funny car class, and one of them obviously is part of the Team DSR camp, and that's the Ron Capps Napa funny car tuned by John Medlin. Of course, his entire team, including Jack Beckman, Johnny Gray, and Matt Hagan, are overdue, but when you go outside the box, I really like that Johnny Gray funny car, and the key reason is because it's tuned by Lee Beard, who has been very successful as a championship-winning crew chief in the Nitro classes. Some of the other players I expect to see win shortly. How about Bob Tasca? His last win was at Englishtown last summer. And of course, Team Pedregon, Cruz Pedregon with a great car right now. Brother Tony, who has got some new sponsor money. We'd like to see him get a win here in 2011. Those are some of the funny car drivers I expect to see step up here in 2011. But let's think outside the box with Johnny Gray driving with Lee Beard for Don Schumacher Racing.
Joined on our Full Throttle TV set with Motorcraft Quick Lane Ford funny car driver Bob Tasca. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Great to be here, Abby.
This is Vegas, where it all started for you, your first funny car debut here. What kind of memories do you have from here?
Well, this is a great place to race. I got a lot of laps on that track, and I will never forget. I can't even describe how hard the car pulled from 200 feet to half track. It was unbelievable. I still have a hard time today describing to people just how hard those Nitro funny cars accelerate.
It's been 4 years now. Have you found any different changes in yourself or in the experiences in driving over those past 4 years?
I think the more laps you get in these cars, things really slow down. You know, as a driver, you're more in tune to the engine. You can feel things that you wouldn't have felt before. You can hear things that you certainly didn't hear before. I tell people all the time, the first 50 runs in that funny car, I would never want to relive those runs again. I mean, the finish line goes by so fast, and just speeding your brain up, you know, as a rookie driver, you know, 4 years ago, it can be a little overwhelming. But as you get more laps, I think you have more confidence in yourself that you'll make the right decision if things go wrong.
So switching from NHRA over to NASCAR, you just had the experience to drive or to ride in the pace car, the Ford pace car around. How was that?
That was pretty cool. You know, I've been to Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte. It's so big, it's hard to see some of the action on the track, but Bristol was a whole nother experience. I mean, that facility is incredible to watch a NASCAR race at. I couldn't believe the banking. I mean, it's unbelievable how steep the banking is, but that was a lot of fun. I did a photo shoot with Trevor Bayne. Heck, I had my Motorcraft shirt on. Everyone kept congratulating me on my Daytona win. So it was fun to be out there with those guys. But my heart, I'm a drag racer through and through. And this is where I want to come to play, right here.
We were talking just a little bit earlier. You have 4 little boys in your family. No girls, 4 boys. You said they like to play hockey. But any chance they're going to follow in Dad's footsteps and get out here on the track?
Well, you might see an announcement here in a couple of weeks. You know, my son, Bob, 8 years old, he's been bugging me to get in a junior dragster, so we're working on something there. And good Lord willing, they don't become fuel funny car drivers. I tell you, it's a crazy game out here in these cars. They're real fast. A lot of things can happen, but they're around it. So unfortunately, I think I'm in trouble.
So what does Bob Tasca do when he's not driving a car?
When I'm not racing, I'm back at the dealership selling Fords. You know, my family's got a big Ford dealership in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. We sell a lot of Motorcraft parts. We have 2 big quick lanes. So to be out here living my dream, representing brands that are so close to my heart, it really is a dream come true.
Stick around as Sean Langdon takes you through the highs and lows of professional drag racing.
It's given me the drive, it's given me the determination, it's given me every key asset that I think I need to win a race.
This season, Full Throttle TV has been taking fans behind the scenes with top fueler Sean Langdon and his quest for his first ever Wally Trophy. And here's what happened last week on the special FTTV feature, Hard Work and Dedication.
Qualified 6th this weekend, so that puts us up against Clay Milliken first round. We know we got to lay something good down here. We got to put down a good run for this team and start the day off right.
Sean Langdon, runner-up at Pomona, set to go up against Clay Milliken. Langdon first out of the game. Top end of the racetrack, Langdon first to the finish line.
We'll have Spencer Massey next round, which is a very, very tough car. So for us, you know, it's just a matter of making a good, clean, consistent run. We're great friends off the track, at the track. But just like anybody else, when he's in the other lane, I want to beat him bad.
Spencer Massey for Pram and Presto, and Sean Langdon for Lucas Oil. Runner-up at Pomona. Here it is. Set. Massey first out of the gate. Massey first to the finish line. Massey first to the semifinals.
I think we need to take this as a positive thing. We made a good run down the track. We just got beat.
And now, here's our 3rd installment of the Full Throttle TV exclusive, Hard Work and Dedication.
Right here at Las Vegas this weekend, we got off to a little bit of a slow start. This Lucas Oil car has been a little slow in qualifying, but fortunately for us tomorrow, it's going to cool off a little bit, so it's going to throw a big curveball at everybody out here. And we got Spencer Massey first round, which for us, it's a tough draw for anybody really, but you know, we'd rather take those guys out early, so that way you don't want to get them in the later rounds. That's really where they succeed. So if we can get them out early and get ourselves on a little bit of a roll, that's really all the better for us. I had high expectations my first year, my rookie year coming out. I really thought that, wouldn't it be cool to come in first couple races and break through, get the first win, and get my name out there, and you're off to a good running start. But I think looking back at it now, as much as I really, really wish that I would have won a race, maybe it's a good thing I didn't. Maybe if I would have won in my first year, second year, I would have taken it for granted.
One thing with me, I try not to get myself worked up for any round, no matter who I'm running. I try and cut my same light, my same deal, but I do know whenever I'm running Sean, there's no margin for error, because I know he's going to be right there.
I think now that it's given me the drive, it's given me the determination, it's given me every key asset that I think I need to win a race, and I think it makes me hungry. And I think part of that helps my reaction times.
We like to have the best light. We both strive to have the best reaction time, and so whenever we can line up against each other, it makes it that much better.
Sean Langdon, Lucas Oil Team Machine, Nav TV, and Speedco Truck Lube. So the yellow and black out of that Don Schumacher Racing stable. Sean Langdon. Teammate did not advance out of the opening round. Good Sean can do. These drivers are two of the best at reaction time in the class. Not too many guys that have a better average of getting off the line first than Sean Langdon, but Spencer Massey does. Key right here, well, getting out of the starting gate. And Sean's gonna have to see if he can navigate what has been a tough down track part of the course on the Dodge side of the racetrack for the top fuelers. So two of the great young drivers, 20-somethings, ready to get it on. Now Sean Langdon was first out of the gate and then ran out of gas. A little pump and bang and some smoke and fire down there at the end of the racetrack. And they often say, I've never driven a top fuel car. I don't believe any of those are good things.
I had a bad run right there, first round against Spencer. We had actually kind of a mechanical failure, not quite sure what happened yet. We're still trying to figure that out, but something didn't go right. They laid down a good run. That's part of drag racing. You got to take the good with the bad, and for us, it's just go back to the shop and kind of regroup and gather all the data that we learned from this weekend, and just keep looking forward. You're not going to have good weekends every weekend. This was one of our bad weekends. We just got to throw it out the window and just keep moving on for the next race.
If you missed any part of our show, you can always catch full episodes online at nhra.com.